You won't believe what happens next. Let's dive into this crazy story. At that moment, Uncle's elevator jolted, prompting the woman to complain about the building's poor quality. Upon hearing this, Arthur looked at her, and to his surprise, she made a funny face, instantly melting his heart. In such a cold environment, no one can resist a kind gesture, so when they reached their floor, Arthur mustered the courage to call her back. He returned the favor with a funny face to that mother-daughter duo. Just like that, Arthur was healed from his exhaustion by this little act of kindness. The next day, after the billboard was ruined, Arthur faced complaints from the music shop for her unexplained absence, resulting in a hefty paycheck deduction. Even though her mood plunged deeper than an abyss, Arthur still faced everything with a smile, not wanting to lose the only glimmer of hope. She sat in a corner, feeling down. This scene caught the attention of her chubby coworker, who out of sympathy told her to stand up for herself next time and handed her a greasy belt. Arthur was taken aback by this sudden gesture. When she opened it, she burst out laughing because it was a handgun. As a mental health patient, she wasn't allowed to carry. However, the chubby coworker insisted no one would find out, and out of a moment's goodwill, Arthur ended up accepting it. What she didn't know was that this gun would change her life forever. Shortly after, Arthur received a new assignment from the company to go to a children's hospital to bring joy to the sick little patients. She dressed up as a clown, happily bouncing around the ward, her silly dance moves quickly amusing every child in the room. In that moment, Arthur felt a sense of worth. Though her life was shrouded in darkness, at least she could bring laughter to these kids, watching them relax as they enjoyed the moment. She intensified her dance moves, only to accidentally drop the handgun her chubby coworker had given her. Although Arthur quickly picked it up, the joyful atmosphere in the ward vanished in an instant. Everyone stared at Arthur in shock, and she felt like a child caught doing something wrong, standing there clueless. Sure enough, after the event, her boss even though Arthur explained that the gun was just a prop for her act, she was shocked to find out the chubby coworker had reported her to the boss. She falsely claimed Arthur bought it himself. Betrayal left Arthur defenseless. Just like that, Arthur lost her only job. An adult's collapse happened in an instant. Feeling down, she sat on the subway, reminiscing about everything. Just then, 3 drunk guys nearby started making a scene. To her dismay, they set their sights on a lady sitting across from them, ready to mock her. As Arthur was the only one in the car, the girl looked at her pleadingly. Arthur had no plans to step in, but her uncontrollable laughter erupted. The laughter instantly caught the attention of the 3 men, who wondered what this clown was laughing about. One of them asked her why she was laughing, and the woman who had been mocked took the opportunity to exit the car. Losing prey dampened the men's spirits, but Arthur's laughter echoed, making her the new target. One of the men amusingly began singing, his eyes sparkling as he gazed at Arthur. As he approached, Arthur's laughter turned tinged with helplessness, as she sensed the ominous vibe surrounding her. The man's gaze was leaden with meaning, as if she had become their prey, and Arthur's face was filled with a bitter smile. She didn't want to be involved with them, but those troublesome guys still made their way to her side. A wave of suffocation crashed upon her, and while Arthur wanted to flee, her body froze in place. Yet her uncontrollable laughter appeared as a challenge to them. The man questioned her again about her laughter, and Arthur desperately tried to explain, but the impatient man was not interested in her excuses. They started hitting her, and Arthur had no strength to fight back. She was knocked to the ground by a solid punch, followed by a flurry of kicks. Subtitles. She thought she would once again helplessly endure a beating, but Arthur was utterly disappointed with this extremely tormenting life. Suddenly, she spotted one of them fleeing in the distance, and Arthur resolved to not let him get away easily. As the subway approached the station, an enraged Arthur decided to take down those arrogant men. Once the subway came to a complete stop, she followed in pursuit of the fleeing man, her thirst for revenge growing stronger. She fired a shot, hitting her target in the leg, and the screams echoed throughout the subway station. Without a hint of fear, Arthur decisively fired several shots towards the man. As the gunfire died down, the subway station fell into a chilling silence once more, and Arthur fled the scene. Honestly, Arthur didn't know how to handle the situation. She was just overwhelmed by an indescribable feeling. Dashing swiftly through a cluttered and damp street, she ultimately reached a public restroom, where her tense emotions were alleviated and she began to let herself go, dancing to the music. She rushed home, desperate to do one thing: knock on her black friend's door. When it opened, she lunged in for a kiss. The next morning, despite her rocky career, she found love. Arthur began packing her things at work, ready to head out. Meanwhile, the entire office buzzed with gossip about the subway murder, completely unaware that the perpetrator was among them. The little guy expressed his concern for Arthur upon hearing about her dismissal, while the chubby coworker had set a trap to replace her. And now, however, Arthur was indifferent, eager to leave without a second thought. As she reached the exit, she turned around, claiming she hadn't clocked out yet, and began pounding the time. Once she vented her feelings, she finally left with satisfaction, leaving her colleagues dumbfounded. As she walked out, she spotted the "Don't forget to smile" sign and felt a wave of irony wash over her. The subway murder Arthur orchestrated sparked quite the controversy, and since she had disguised herself as a clown, the police hadn't caught on to her yet. Unsurprisingly, the three killed were indeed underlings of the wealthy Thomas, and his remarks during an interview influenced Arthur greatly.